What's up, y'all? I got another summer event you need to have on your calendar. Dancing in the Streets is happening August 2nd through August 4th on Hubbard Street in the Chicago Brewing District. Presented by the Westtown Chamber of Commerce in partnership with On Tour Brewing, this festival highlights Westtown's growing beer scene. Not to mention, you'll get to enjoy live music, dancing, local vendors, and so much more. Come dance in the streets of the Chicago Brewing District. Learn more at westtownchamber.org or at the link in our show notes. Is there anything more summertime shy than riding down Lakeshore Drive? What about cruising Lakeshore on a bike? Don't miss Bike the Drive on Sunday, September 1st. It's the one day of the year when we can ride our bikes on DuSable Lakeshore Drive from Edgewater to Hyde Park. Trust me, I tell myself every year I'm gonna hit the whole thing, and I haven't yet. I haven't yet, but maybe this is the year. Use code STREETS5 for $5 off. That's STREETS and the number 5. You can register now at bikethedrive.org, and hopefully I'll see you out there. Make sure you stick around after the guide for a conversation sponsored by Revolution Brewing. Founder Josh Deeth is giving the Summer Beer Rex and a little lager history. Today on CityCast Chicago, we are now officially in the dog days of summer, my friends, and the team has got your guide for how to enjoy the rest of the month. I'm talking heat, cicadas, and all. It's Thursday, August 1st. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. Now, if you're new to CityCast Chicago, welcome, my friends. We've been here for the last 3 years, and we're happy that you're finally joining us. We are in your feeds 5 days a week, bringing you the conversations that help you make the most of life in Chicago, whether that's guides to wine and beer, getting you caught up on what's going on in city schools or city council, or even getting choked up on learning about pigeons of all things. Seriously, it's one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. My friends texted me immediately like, man, you sound so gentle in this episode, so excited. So go back and listen to that. Also, every month, we like to bring you some seasonal tips and break down what we're looking forward to. And I'm actually starting off August by taking my ass on vacation. Yes, I'm going to Atlanta and Houston to visit family. I got to take a little moment before we get full steam ahead on the Democratic National Convention. That's why I'm going to turn over the rest of this episode to our lovely team, executive producer Simone Alicea, producer Michelle Navarro, and Hey Chicago newsletter editor Sydney Madden.
Hey, thanks, Jacoby. I'm Simone Alicea. Michelle, say hi to the people.
Hello.
And Sid, our newsletter editor.
Hi.
Hello, hello. We are so glad to be here while Jacoby is out, I guess. We're here holding it down. Since our fearless host is out on vacation, I thought I would ask you all, what is a spot or activity in Chicago that makes you feel like you're on vacation? Sid, what about you?
This is a really hard question for me. I thought about it a lot, and I think it's because I feel very at home here. So I'm going to not answer this directly. This place does not make me feel like I'm on vacation, but it does make me feel like I'm somewhere else, and that is Alta Vista Terrace. It's this little street up in Wrigleyville that I used to live by, and it was designed in the early 20th century, inspired by London row houses. It's very, very pretty. The houses like diagonally parallel each other, so it's kind of trippy being on that street too, but it definitely doesn't feel like Chicago. It feels like a little slice of Europe. I'm obsessed with it.
I feel like also apt, given your interest in the Olympics, being able to like find a little bit of Europe in Chicago.
I'm trying to do that 365, not just during the Olympics, but yeah, fair enough.
Michelle, what about you? What is a place in Chicago that makes you feel like you're on vacation?
So similar to Sid, I feel like I'm always looking for how can I make this feel like Europe? And recently I had a friend in town, which is always refreshing because I feel like you get a different perspective of like the city and how it looks to outsiders. And we did like a riverboat tour, and just being by the river, like seeing like the homes by the river towards, what is that, Wolf Point? Is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in towards that area, there's these little like cottage like homes. I wish I should know the name by how many tours I have gone on, but I don't. But they're like these little homes that are just right on the river. And there's this little part on the river walk where there's like a little water fountain situation. And there's these like big concrete steps. And so people, you could sit on them on any levels. And I sat on it. I was like, whoa, where am I right now? And, you know, just have a little smoke or have a little snack. And it truly feels like I was in another city. And I really enjoyed that. And once I started noticing these little like things that I would also that remind me of Europe, I was like, wow, Chicago can really, like, if you are disillusioned enough, you can kind of trick yourself into thinking like, oh, I'm walking by the river in another city. And so I really enjoyed that. One other part I'm going to add is like, I went to a concert in Grant Park and it was really late walking back. We passed by Buckingham Fountain and they were playing like classical music on the speakers. And, you know, Buckingham Fountain is a huge fountain. Like I always forget how huge it is. And so walking around there and just having like this classical music blast through the speakers, like super late. And people are walking around, like, you know, it's a mix of tourists and Chicagoans who are just like up late, just walking around Grant Park, which brought me like a lot of joy. I was like, wait, I need to stop looking at this like an American city. And so I am full on the Chicago is the European city of the United States train. And I'm not going to get no one knock me off this cloud because I've been enjoying it a lot. And I've been
so you
seeing
don't
things.
agree? You don't agree that Detroit is the Paris of the Midwest, which is apparently actually what it is. Apparently that's an actual thing.
So random, but like Mark Twain used to write about how Chicago and Berlin were so alike for a Chicago publication back in the day. And I kind of had looked at it and I was like, you know, he is a valid point. Like, again, this is like an older Chicago, right? An older Berlin. But that kind of also kept me thinking, like, this is clearly not a new idea. It's just something, this connection that I made that I was like, oh, there's so many parts of our parks, of our, like, not just downtown, but our everyday infrastructure that kind of gives a little bit of Europe.
Yeah, for me, so this is a little bit of a cop-out because it is technically outside of the city. But I'm going to go with the tried and true King Spa in Niles. It's just outside the city. It's literally so close. King Spa is the Korean spa. I feel like I've talked about it on the show before, but if I haven't, it's basically my Disneyland. It's like the place that I love to be and spend many, many hours in, right? Like you pay an entrance fee and then you already have access to all of the like the spa and sauna bits, and then you can pay for other services on top of that. But it is a location that is just like dedicated to relaxing. That's all you're supposed to do. All you have to do there is like chill.
Ugh.
And I just don't think there are enough spaces that are whose express purpose is to chill out in this world.
Simone, don't you have a coupon deal you should tell the people?
Oh, I can tell the people about the. I mean, you can find this on the website, but I always use They do have Groupons, but I have always found that the Groupon is almost always the same as the e-coupon deal, which is just you send them an email and then you get like $10 off your entrance fee, and it's worth it. Also, like, I mean, they're constantly trying to find ways to get you back because it's like if you get like a certain kind of service, then you get a free entry on your next one, and like that free entry coupon technically expires in a month, but even if it expires, you get like $20 off your entrance fee the next time you come. And so like there's a lot of like little deals if you keep going. They also have a rewards program, which I haven't gone so far as to join yet. I haven't quite made that leap to King Spa rewards, but yeah, I think August is a good time to talk about this because I feel like there's a lot of reasons you might be trying to go on vacation. School starts August 26th. You've got the DNC coming to Chicago, and maybe you are not. We're actually going to be doing an episode talking about some road trips to get away during that week. You know, I know we had someone in our inbox talking about they're trying to get out of town for the Air and Water Show. I'm planning to go to the Renaissance Fair during the Air and Water Show because I live by the lake and I don't really want to be here in the plains. So maybe if you can't quite get out of town, maybe these spots will, you know, allow you a little bit of vacation time.
So maybe you out here trying to live a greener life. Maybe you want to reduce the amount of food waste heading to Chicago's landfills and you're thinking about composting. If so, you got to try Waste Not. Here's how it works. Waste Not gives you a 5-gallon bucket with an airtight lid. That's where you're going to toss your food scraps, cooked or raw, paper products like napkins and coffee filters, and anything else that's certified compostable. Then the Waste Not team comes and collects your full bucket in electric service vehicles, might I add, and they leave you a clean, empty one. This happens every week or every other week, depending on your needs. Plus, for my gardeners out there, y'all gonna be able to get back some of the finished compost you helped create without ever having to deal with all the gross parts of the process. So give Waste Not a try and check out wastenotcompost.com. CityCast Chicago listeners can test the service with a free month by using promo code CityCastCompost. What's up, y'all? I'm back with another Ravinia Roundup. All summer long, North America's longest running outdoor music festival is putting on some of the most enjoyable concerts in the Chicago area, and trust me, they got range. August probably got some of my favorite shows of the summer. Not only are the Roots and TLC coming to town, but Victor Wooten and the Wooten Brothers are playing August 7th. You got Angelique Kidjo and Michelle Ndegeocello rocking the stage on August 8th. Plus, they also got movie nights as the Chicago Symphony Orchestra lights up the soundtracks of The Princess Bride and Up on back-to-back nights August 15th and 16th. Pack your own picnic to enjoy on the lawn or sit up close in the pavilion. And remember, each concert ticket comes with a free Metro ride. So pick your concerts, buy your tickets at ravinia.org, and if you like me, start planning your spread. I'll see you out there.
Sid, Michelle, this is our guide to August. This is the time where we are telling people all the things they need to know about August in Chicago, what's happening, the natural phenomena to keep in mind. What are some things they may not have on their radar yet? Michelle, what's your number one tip for August in Chicago?
So I've really been trying to find ways to catch live music and not always pay for it, because that's kind of like my guilty pleasure, is just spending money on concerts, and I fear I have already almost maxed out on my supposed
we were just
budget.
talking about Lollapalooza and like how expensive those tickets are and how expensive the after show tickets are.
Yeah, no, definitely. So like I know at the end of this month in August, Navy Pier is actually hosting a free music fest, and it's called Latinx, and it's this August 24th and 25th. It's a free 2-day music festival showcasing local, national, and international Latinx, Latine artists. The event will feature like 2 like major like music stages, and then a DJ stage, and then an array of like vendors, artisan vendors too. So it's going to be people who are going to be bringing like Latine art. And so I'm really excited to check this out, because one, I don't go to Navy Pier that often. I feel like we've talked about that. It's just rare that I get over there. And two, just like having free music for 2 days. I feel like usually in the city it's easy to find like, you know, maybe you go to Millennium Park for one person, or maybe for a couple people, but it's rare to find, you know, like an actual lineup of artists. And of course 2 days of it too. And so I know for a fact I will definitely try to make it at least one of the 2 days. Maybe I'll even make it for the 2. So yeah, that sounds super fun. And the fact that I'm saving money by not paying for a ticket actually makes me super happy. And it'll give me more of a budget to check out the artisan vendors and, you know, get some stuff for my apartment or gifts for friends. So I'm excited for that.
You know, I'm always surprised by the number of like free music offerings. You mentioned Millennium Park, Grand Park, but there's also the Tuesdays on the Terrace at the Museum of Contemporary Art. And then, Sid, you put something on our events page at Nikki's down in Beverly that they're doing a little music series there as well.
Yeah, it's been going on all summer. Gosh, I think there's been a couple a month, but it seems to be popping.
It just, it caught my eye because they're featuring kind of one artist at any given time, and just a really good time to like see some local artists and pick up some new music. We just did an episode about open mics and jam sessions in Chicago, which like my boyfriend's a musician. And so I'm now in the world of like going to open mics, which I never was before. And I gotta say, I was a little skeptical at first. My assumption was that like there would be a lot of not very good, people playing. But I've been pleasantly surprised. I've actually been shocked at it's been really fun to like watch local songwriters like work out their stuff. And I don't know. And now I get to be like a cool person who goes to open mics on the reg.
I feel like you should put him on to the Salt Shed is having the world's largest
karaoke
this month as well.
The world's largest karaoke is August 8th, which is a Thursday. The Salt Shed, of course, a relatively new big music venue out on Goose Island. And they're expecting it's like you're singing in front of like 5,000 people. Like that's a huge stage.
I feel like it's properly named because karaoke is usually a few dozen people in a room.
Yeah. I don't even think I've ever cracked 100 in any karaoke stage that I've ever sang on. Michelle, Sid, assuming you could muster the courage, you get up, you're excited. What song are you singing in front of 5,000 people at the Salt Shed?
I think I've told you guys this before, but I once knew the words to an Eminem rap featured in 8 Mile, and it starts with everybody from the 313. It's like the big rap battle at like the climax of the movie, I think. But I feel maybe those words could come back to me.
That is a bold choice.
Very bold.
I love
like
that for you.
I didn't do it well or with the right energy, but I did it.
You did it nonetheless.
Michelle, what about you? What are you singing in front of 5,000 people?
I think I would definitely do Just a Girl by No Doubt.
Ooh, excellent choice.
Thank you.
It's a great choice.
My quick second would be Red Wine Supernova by
Chapel
my
Roan.
princess Chapel Roan. Yes.
Yes. It's just going to be a Chapel Roan fan cast from now on. Sorry, guys. That's what we're doing here.
We're not sorry.
I think I would do Gold Dust Woman by Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh. I've heard Simone's really good at karaoke, so my goal is to see you actually sing one of these songs.
I'm on the hunt for a new regular karaoke bar. If anyone know, like particularly on the northeast side, like I'm trying to find one. And I just feel like the spot I used to go to closed, and I need a spot with a halfway decent sound system. That's what I'm looking for. I just need like a little bit, just a little bit. If you have a spot, a spot that I should check out, you can always text us 773-780-0246. Sid, what about you? Biggest tip for August?
My biggest tip for August is obviously Chicago students are going back to school this month and school supplies are a rip. They're super expensive. I know my family, we used to go to Walmart in the suburbs because it would just be a little bit cheaper. And it made a difference when you were getting so many school supplies. So this year, I was thinking of telling Chicago families to visit the Chicago Creative Reuse Exchange. It's this big warehouse in Auburn Gresham, and they have all types of materials. They have very practical things that you could use, and they also have like really weird things like old science equipment, or this really big giant caterpillar. I talked to the founder last fall, and they do all these traveling events around town, different pop-ups. And they also have a creativity bus, and they invite kids to come on and upcycle materials to make recycled pencil cases, to make different journals. And so I thought it was a very affordable and sustainable way to approach back to school shopping this year.
That is super cool. You talked to the folks behind the Creative Chicago Reuse Exchange a while back, and it is... I don't know. I definitely feel it in my own life of like, I don't know. It's hard to not just like keep buying stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think the thing I want to talk about that's coming up in August, as somebody who is trying to keep an eye on what's going on in the natural world, not very well, is I just want to remind everyone that while the periodical cicadas that we were all worried about have more or less came and went, and we didn't really. Did you guys see any in the city? You guys, did you experience them at all?
Not in the city, but in the
Not
suburbs, yeah.
one.
Yeah. It was a very low key thing here, and obviously for the people who were out and had their cars covered, I feel for you. But turns out we still have to deal with our annual Dog Day cicadas out in the trees. So the cicadas are not gone forever. Sid is making the stankiest stank face right now.
When are they gone? When are they gone for good? Like all of them. When are they gone?
I mean, but Sid, these are these cicadas we hear every summer. Like
I don't care. When are they gone?
It'll be around September when the cicadas leave us for good for the rest of the year. I don't know. I always feel like I am hearing them. Are you guys hearing them at all? I'm hearing them like occasionally. It depends on the evening.
I think I might be hearing them because they are really loud. And
Yes.
I forget the sounds that other bugs make, so I just kind of ignore it. I'm like, don't the bugs just all sound like this? But in my
No, Michelle. No, they don't.
So like in my walks in the park, I've definitely have heard this like loud noise that I can't ignore anymore. So I guess I am hearing them. I haven't seen one though, and like I've said before, I am fine with not seeing any.
Just keep an eye out for them. They're not harmful. They don't bite. Sid still doesn't care. She still doesn't like them.
It's okay not to look out for them too. It's okay to ignore them until September, like me.
You can still eat them if that is of interest to you.
Um,
I know no one cared. I know the numbers show that nobody cared, that nobody wanted to eat them. It was
Are you gonna eat one?
If someone were to prepare it for me, I'm not going to go out and harvest them and eat them. But speaking of food, every month we like to take a little look ahead at what we are going to eat and some of the bites that we're looking forward to. Sid, what are you most looking forward to eating this month?
A couple things. It was hard to narrow it down, but I joined a book club earlier this summer and it's called Ladies Who Lit and it's an experiential book club. So in August this month, we are reading a book called The Paris Novel and the organizer of the book club, Kaylin Ralph, she's partnered with a supper club and they are making a menu inspired by the book. I have no idea where the dinner is. I have no idea what's on the menu. I just saw it and immediately signed up. And I'm quite looking forward to it.
Do you know which supper club they paired up with? Because I know there's a few in the city.
It's called the Saffron Supper Club,
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's quite new. I do think oysters will be on the menu, which, yeah, I knew that would get your
I do
attention.
love oysters. Yes.
And that feels timely as well because I learned August 5th is National
Oyster Day.
I got a press release about that. And obviously the Olympics are in Paris, so this is my little taste of Paris while that's going on.
You're really doing a lot of that they're really coming full circle on the European experience. Michelle, what about you? What are you most looking forward to eating this month?
This month, I'm really looking forward to, I mean, I already had it, but I know I'm going to keep having it a bunch because I live right by it. But Cadinho Bakery and Cafe, it's in McKinley Park neighborhood. I think one of their big things that they're really known for, I mean, they are a Portuguese-inspired bakery. And so the big thing is if you've ever had a pastel de nata, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's basically like this, like, it's a Chinese-style Portuguese egg tarts, which I remember I had seen a description of like, it's like if creme brulee and a croissant had a baby. And if you bite into it, you just like have the egg custard in the middle. And it's like this like taste of like citrus and cinnamon and vanilla. And it is just so, so good. I highly recommend. They also have so many other delicious pastries. I had their scones, also so, so good. So this is just this kind of spot where like everything they're bringing out from the back, like, it has been so good. I feel really lucky that I've gotten to try a good amount of their pastries already. But yeah, this is a spot that I will continue to be going to. It's just so delicious. And I feel like we're going full circle with the whole European thing again.
I love that. Sort of staying on the like coffee tea train. I want to shout out a spot near me up in Edgewater, DM Apothecary, which is sort of a she does natural skincare, but she also makes her own loose leaf tea blends.
Oh, cool.
And they're really delicious. They are out of this world. I got one that was, sort of an anti-inflammatory bent on the tea with willow bark and some other stuff, but she just like makes these blends of like green and black teas and herbs, and like when I went in, Deirdre, who owns the shop, she was like mixing herbs, and so you could smell it throughout the shop. And I'm getting really back into like loose leaf teas because I picture myself with like a beautiful little tea set that I can like bloom my tea in and like pour it into cute aesthetic cups. That's the vision I have for myself, and that's the spot I'm looking forward to picking up some more tea this month, I think.
A little tea while you are at King's Spa with some cicada white
saying?
noise. It's a relaxing time.
There's a minute we can get some storms, some of the storms coming in. We'll chill out.
Right.
Anything but the Blue Angels. As soon as the Blue Angels come in, then I'm out. Then I'm done.
Right. Fair enough.
Newsletter editor Sydney Madden, thank you so much for bringing us your guide to August.
Thank you.
And producer Michelle Navarro, glad to have your tips as well.
Thanks, Simone.
Our host, Jacoby Cochran, also has something that he's looking forward to eating in August. Let's hear what he has to say.
Something that can go great with your summer plans, some cold beer. Luckily, up next, we've got a conversation sponsored by Revolution Brewing about the best places to enjoy a summer brew in Chicago. And I got to say myself, before they sponsorship, I didn't really have it in my fridge, and I have for the last month or so. It's been a nice addition.
Hey, I'm Will Fulton, content director for CityCast, and I am so excited to be joined by Josh Deeth, founder of Chicago's own Revolution Brewing. What's up, Josh? How are you?
I'm doing great, Will. How you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Even better now that I get to talk to you again, for sure. So I must say, as a major fan of, drinking in general, I've had beers in so many settings all over the world, and I might be a little biased here, but there is just a certain something special about drinking a beer in Chicago in the summer, right? It is just like a great pairing. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely. It's the season for beer.
Definitely. So, Josh, as someone who makes beer for a living, as someone who is one of the most influential minds in Chicago's beer scene, we wanted to get your expert take on the 3 best places to drink a beer in Chicago this summer, your holy trinity of Chicago beer drinking. So this is in no particular order. What would be your first rec here?
I got to go with backyard. There's like this great solace that you can get in a Chicago backyard, or like a back porch if you live in an apartment building. And some of those, the sun goes down and you just enjoy a quiet night with friends, or even alone for a beer. And there's something nice about that where you're like getting away from the hustle and bustle in the backyard. Obviously, like the ballpark in summertime in Chicago, drinking beers at the ballpark comes to mind as just like, it doesn't matter if you're north side, south side. I'm a Sox fan myself. It's not the greatest year for the Sox, but there's still plenty of people out there enjoying beers and enjoying the national pastime. I would say like by the lake or by the river, like by a body of water, or like get away to Wisconsin or wherever and go drink beer on a lake up there for a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. And, sneak some beers into the beach and drink a beer. There's something, that's where you want to be to cool off on a hot day. We just had a really big hot spell, and you got to get outside and cool down. You can't stay inside all summer. All these places I mentioned so far are like outside places. Yeah.
That's amazing. I could not agree more. Love the backyard oasis. Love drinking at the ballpark. Out of all the great beers Revolution makes, what's the best beer for these summertime drinking sessions, whether in your backyard or at the Sox game or wherever?
Yeah, we actually have our lager cold time is the beer for summer right now for me. We make a lot of different beers. I love trying all the different beers we make, but cold time is an easy drinking lager, and that just pairs well with a warm day. It's very refreshing. It's not too heavy. It's one of the lighter beers we make in terms of like how it kind of hits your palate. There's just something about a nice, fresh, locally made lager that just quenches my thirst on a hot day. And so that's where I'm reaching for first.
I love that. And cold time is delicious, I have to say. I tried it myself.
Yeah. And you can get it at the Sox game, actually. They have it at Sox Park.
Amazing. That'll ease some of the suffering of the current sock season, I would say. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit. They're used to suffering down there. So.
One thing I've heard in my beer drinking life is that lagers are kind of considered an inherently Midwestern beer. And I'm wondering, what's the connection there? Why is that the case?
Yeah, I think we say that too. And I think a lot of it goes back to kind of like the immigrants who came to the Midwest. And this was the beer style that they brought with them from their countries, not just Germany, but lager it's the most popular beer style in the whole world. There was a little bit more of an ale culture like on the East Coast early on from like the English who came, and then the Midwest is settled a little more by non-English type, Germanic country, and they brought the lager with them. And there's just a proud tradition going back before Prohibition of lager breweries here in the Midwest, and the beer became popular then. And as like the country grew and the Midwest grew, lager grew with it. And from hey, we got Miller to the north, we got Bud to the south. We're kind of smack dab in between them, two big global conglomerates. And obviously they make and sell a lot of lager. And as a craft brewery, we focused on IPAs, seasonal beers, and other ales for a while. And so for us, getting into lager in a big way is a newer thing within the last year or two. We have an Oktoberfest that comes out soon. That's also a lager, but Cold Time, a big year-round, easy drinking lager this is a big push for us.
Yes, kind of totally with you there. Cold Time is made in Chicago, which is amazing. Why do you think it's ideal that you are drinking a beer made in your own city, aside from just city pride, which is a big thing, but do you think it actually will taste fresher to get it right from the source?
I know it does. The Cold Time it's a fresh lager, and it's a local lager. You can actually taste the yeast. The beer is fermented, and a lot of the lager, everyone's used to drinking these kind of industrialized global lagers that are meant to taste the same all over the world, no matter where you are. This is almost like the opposite. We want you to try to get it as fresh as possible, as close to the source as great, like when you come to the brewery, but you can get it at your local store. When you go to a place that sells a lot of beer, the beer moves and it stays fresh. And so, yeah, there's the freshness flavor from the yeast, even like the malts that we use. We use Midwest barley malt.
Right on. Well, Josh, thank you so much for your insight here and talking to us about Revolution Brewing and Cold Time Lager. And maybe I'll see you at the ballpark this summer. Love a beer.
Yeah, I'm going to the Sox game next week, I think. So maybe we'll see you.
Good luck.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Have a great day, Will. Bye.
All right, all you beer drinkers out there, make sure you pick up some Cold Time Lager this summer and find the latest about Revolution and all the cool stuff they do at www.revbrew.com. That is REVBREW.com. We'll have that link for you in our show notes for your drinking convenience. Check it out, and thanks for listening. Bye.
Before we let you go, CityCast Chicago does not begin and end with the podcast. Head over to our website, chicago.citycast.fm. There you are going to find our helpful neighborhood guides, the latest articles, and our daily newsletter, Hey Chicago. You've gotten to hear all from our newsletter editor, Sydney Madden, in the episode, and trust me, this is a newsletter you want to add to your daily routine, Monday through Friday, for free, direct to your inbox. Something you only gonna get on the podcast, the good news. Just to throw a couple more events your way. Tomorrow, the Edison Park Festival begins on the Northwest side. Music, food, charity, bingo, a bike parade. They got so much going on. Also this weekend, the 3rd annual Bronzeville Smooth Jazz Festival takes place on the South side. Art, community vendors, food on site. You can find more about both events at the link in our show notes. And again, bookmark that website because we've got a packed events calendar that we're always adding to. Like every single episode, I really want you to know that we appreciate you being here, taking time out of your day to listen to the podcast, whether this is your first time, your 800th time, whether you listen on 2x speed, half speed, however, whenever, wherever you listen, it means the world to me. All right, the team gonna keep the ball rolling on the next couple episodes. I'm gonna talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Can you muster any of those words right now? Can they come to you? Can you manifest them into this microphone as we
At
speak?
10 a.m. on a Tuesday? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.